to the NXT Podcast, your home for weekly NXT reviews and insight.
The beautiful part of NXT is that when one dream ends, another dream begins.
Find all of your NXT news, recaps, and analysis right here. So with that being said, we only have one question for you.
Are you ready?
We thought so. Let's get the show started right now.
All right, everyone. This is Memphis Mark coming to you from Mullet Manor. And we are going to do the review for NXT the 16th of April. And it is a surprisingly good show. Really only have one dud out of the group, so I mean, can you beat that? And they even started off the now forever little deal they do at the start of every WWE is now been changed up officially. New era, new promo, new voice, so it's different. So I of course am more of a nostalgia guy, but I like change, and I like some things. So we'll see how this plays out over a period of time. May come to love it, but a good start to everything. They even got the fans. They're showing the fans coming into the Performance Center in Florida there, getting ready for it. So kind of a different way to start it off. A lot of energy. Can't complain. Of course, you're going to go in to the starting match, which, last week they built a story. Because Metaphor kind of did a little comic mimic thing of some of the guys, and some people didn't like it, and Dijak did not like it, so he came out and got in Metaphor's face last week, which is leading to this match. And the match itself, Dijak's so much bigger. It should be like a squash match almost, but the way they're doing a build, they're doing a slow build on Noam because he looked good in this match. He did everything the way it's supposed to be done. If you're the smaller guy, you got to chop the guy down. He had great moves. His timing is good. Of course, Dijak, being the size that he is, the moves that he can do, the high-flying moves, and he does not the big Viking moves where he does a cartwheel and just flips over. No, he does some innovative moves. So I just don't... Something about Dijak just hadn't clicked with me. I guess that's just me. I don't know how to put it, but the match itself though, really good. Noam looked fantastic. So I mean, the only thing I can say is overall a fantastic match. I like the build on it and the surprise end that they let. With some interference, a little metaphoric interference. Noam pulls it off. And Dijak had just been bragging earlier that he did not get pinned by Oba, but he got pinned today. And the way they did it, it doesn't make Dijak really look bad. It just makes the situation that Noam took advantage of it, and he got the win. It is what it is. So when you don't make somebody look bad, you get to do a storyline like that. I mean, I think it's a win-win. It's a win-win. But they go from there to the all-wise Ava, and she's talking with Dragunov. And so little here and there, but there's going to be an open challenge match later. Dragunov does good. He does fine in this little promo, but you'd think she'd be getting better by now. But anyway, oh well. And then, they go straight from that to a Sol Ruka Lola Vice match. Another good match. Another good match. Sol Ruka is good. She's getting her ring legs back under her, from being injured for a while. Does great. Has some good high-flying moves. But Lola really, really looked good. Showed her MMA training, and not just foo-foo training. I mean, like some real, like she did some good moves. The placement of her feet and a lot of her kicks. I mean, say what you want to, man. That was a good match. Soul does good. She always does good, and so this is another match where neither one's really going to look bad coming out of it. Because right towards the end, when Soul looks like she's about to take control, you've got Blair Davenport still sticking her nose in. And, the way she did it, I liked the little run-in, good fall. And then the kick that Lola put on Soul was freaking right on. Placement just, really, really good. So, good finish. Lola ends up getting the win. Nobody looks bad. Sets up Soul. And we even get a Buddy Landell reference in here. That somebody's always trying to take your spot. They were trying to groom the Nature Boy, Buddy Landell, to take over for the Nature Boy, Ric Flair, at one time back in the day. He could not. Buddy Landell was good. Could never cover those shoes. And, of course, didn't cover those shoes. But the match itself, though, really good. So I cannot complain out of the show at all. Everything they've done. So they do this little, they go from there and they do this little anonymous, where they're trying to act like they've got a hidden camera or somebody's privy to something that they're not supposed to. And in this one, it's Ridge Holland and Mr. Wild of LWO. And that's going to set up a match a little bit later, because Rich, puts a little choke on him. It tells him pretty much out of my business, man. And so, it's got a lead. And then, of course, the great skills of Ava in that, too. But Booker T was on fire tonight. Just good references, good everything. And the only real kind of dud, well, not really dud, but in this particular case, but they have Adriana Grace doing her little pageant deal with Gigi. All right. And I expected this to really suck. I just did. I thought this is really going to be bad. But this is a case of the ladies taking something that was written and making the best out of it. Now, it wasn't particularly for me. I did think it was, the way they did it was okay. But the teenagers and the kids that were around me, they thought it was cool. So that's your audience on purchasing most of your WWE merchandise. So maybe it's a win, and I just didn't know it. But just the quality. These things are like little movies. And they did real good with this one, They didn't overplay anything, or it wasn't bad at all. Gigi came out looking okay, did a little something to the dress and made it, that was picked for. And I can't describe this. I'll just go back and check it out. It's not bad. I mean, like I said, I keep expecting for the worst, but it actually isn't. And then they're going to go from there to the Ridge Holland and Joaquin Wild LWO match. And in this one, there again, the winner is going to look okay, yeah, but the loser doesn't look bad either, because Ridge is a lot bigger. It should be an easy match, but Mr. Wild, man, anybody that can fly through the sky with the greatest of ease, this gentleman does. He puts on a great match, really good match, and makes Ridge look good. He carries this match and makes Ridge look good. But not the greatest match, but just a couple Wild's moves, or just that Matrix move. He misses a clothesline. It's just the timing these guys now have got is just unbelievable, and the athletic ability they have. And even at the end, Ridge catches and does a power. The guys like Wild's jumping through the ropes to get him on the outside, and Ridge catches him and power slams him. But then on the outside is Shawn Spears. checking the match out. So, Ridge ends up getting the win, and then walking by and kind of bumping shoulders with Sean. So that's setting up something, of course, on down the road for show. Got a quick little promo with Josh Briggs getting cleared. I hope they do something with him too, because he seems like he could be. He's with his size and his athletic ability. In this one they're setting up the big Viking. Because they're trying to figure out who's going to go after Oba. So they're going to have a match to determine who's going to go against Oba. And the Viking actually looks normal, and they let him speak in non-weird mannerisms. He's talking kind of normal, and okay little spot. Briggs looks a little stiff in this one, but it is what it is. But good little spot. Can't complain. Faux show. And they go from that to Nofi and Blade in this Brinley Reese. They're trying to do some little TikTok promo or whatever, but they're in the gym, and she's thinking the AOP is ape or whatever. I don't know. Kind of a stupid interview, but I hope they don't typecast Nofi and Blade in a bad way, because man, these guys could get over. They could pull it off. They're young, good-looking guys with ability just out of the world. So hopefully somebody helps them. Somebody comes on and gives these guys some good writing. That's I just don't want them to get buried. And with more promos here, you got Andre Chase and Zia Hale. He's explaining the gambling angle on their storyline, and there again, it's somebody that's doing the best that they can with what was written for them. And I could see somebody writing this out of an experience or a friend's experience and thinking they can sway it into this storyline, and they do the best they can. On this one, it is what it is. But you're going to have, after that at least, you're going to have a little action, not in the ring per se in a match, but you've got Tony D and the family coming out. The consigliere, the underboss. You've got this future ladies, a representative of the D'Angelo family. So he gets up in there and he's giving his little State of the Union speech, whatever you might want to say. And then you've got the No Quarter Catch crew that comes out there, and Dempsey's a mouthpiece for them in this one, and it's going to end up in a fight, like it always does. But Tony had to carry this little promo spot because it could have gone really bad. Dempsey there was some awkward silence. And back in my restaurant nightclub days, when you heard silence, that means the DJ was either in the bathroom or you had some kind of problem. So it was a big deal. So radio silence, bad. TV silence, bad during an interview. So Tony D pulled it out. They did okay. And then, like I said, they throw hands at the end. But this is all leading up to, I think, the best match of the night. And I gotta say, possibly the best debut I have seen. I'd have to go back and really think on this one. I can't remember the first time I saw someone wrestle for the first time. And I know he's been on, but I mean really getting a chance. And he impressed me the way this Evans kid, this 19-year-old, phenom, his entrance, he jumps over Booker T and Vic and jumps over Dragunov and spins his direction around in midair and lands in front of him like a superhero. And then they put on a match. I mean, he beat the daylights out of that kid, and that kid kept coming back, and it looked good. Even if he might have had a little slip up, he made such impact on his rest of his moves. Because they set this up. They have all these wrestlers running in, trying to get in. And then he comes from the other side and does his entrance and jumps in. So you got to have a good match with an entrance like that, man. And he did not disappoint. This is definitely worth going back and checking out. Dragunov did not have to carry this match. This was a match that I would have been impressed if I was a veteran in here, that this kid's got this kind of poise. A little weight on this kid, time in the gym, man. 19 years old. If he just keeps his nose to the grindstone, doesn't listen to the people around him once he gets a little, gets more TV time, and he just keeps working, man, he could be, dare I say the word, generational talent. Or phrase, I should say. It was, I was stunned. I highly recommend going back and checking this match out. And it was about midway of the show. So it's like I said, I was just stunned at how good this kid was with his timing and everything. It blew me away. All right, let me see. They do some more promos, of course, and get a little of that going on. Let's see. I'm still kind of, I said, that match kind of really did surprise me. And then you've got Sol Ruka and our lovely GM Ava that is here passing off more knowledge. Sol wants her match with Davenport, so of course they set that up. And then you're going to have a Thea Tatum Paxley match that Thea does good in the ring. She's like a little Buzz Sawyer or something. And no, Buzz Sawyer the wrestler, but she does good in this match. But Tatum Paxley is really come into this role that she's playing. Her character has to be somewhat of a part of her, because she just does it just a little too good. The creepy psycho girl. And then, you got Thea over there doing all her Four Horsemen moves, all her technical type, good moves, good solid moves and everything. But, the match itself, not so bad. Actually, surprisingly good for them. I expected it to be really kind of, not be worth watching, but Tatum is really, like I said, she's really taken on that role. So her mannerisms and her moves in the ring, fit her personality. So weird moves, strange thing in the corner she did. You have to check it out. But hey, she's pulling her character off and gets the win. And what was surprising at the end of this match, they've got to break the ladies up, and then in the middle of this, you've got Lyra coming in to jump on Tatum. Andre's going after. It's just pandemonium at the end of the match. Not so bad. Good little end on it. Then they go and they play Roxanne being her villain self, and she's kind of growing into that role a little bit. She's really taking on that smart aleck kind of, she's taking on pretty good. So she makes a couple little references to Ava, so Ava's got to have her screen time. So she comes in, and only the way Ava can, says that, hey, I've got an easy job. That's what you just said. So we're going to have a three-way match at Spring Breakin'. I hate that name, Spring Breakin'. Right, yeah, Spring Breakin'. Anyway, but yeah, and Ava looks so much bigger than Roxanne. Like Andre the Giant bigger. It's just, all right. But then they're going to have, you've got the Final Testament coming out to have a match. And you got Precious Paul Ellering that never gets to speak. 70 years old, actually the oldest active character or person on the roster, I believe. But you've got AOP going against Blade and Inofi. And like I said, man, I just don't want them to bury Inofi and Blade, because I really think that they could do something. But they really must believe in this AOP, because they've been pushing them and trying them for a while. Now bringing Ellering in and flying him in just to have him walk out in a pair of leather pants with that look. If he can still talk, they need to let him on the mic or whatever. Or maybe they're grooming Cross to become a manager later on. I don't know, but they really got to believe in AOP as much time as they've spent on these guys. And they're good. They're big, and they're 300-pounders. And, yeah, it's just sometimes if somebody doesn't get over with this much TV time, I don't know how much rebranding or repackaging you can do to make them get over. But I don't know. They're trying. Blade and Anufi definitely did try their best on this. They looked good. They're, of course, high flyers. They did everything they're supposed to do. But, man, they get caught one time flipping outside of the ring. And, these guys are definitely big, but they actually catch Anufi and they hit Blade with them. I mean, it's... it's when you use your opponents to batter the other opponent, but they made it look okay. It's okay. You got Ellering at the end up there, but you got Nathan Frazier and Axiom, the champs, running out with the belts and doing some goofy little, like, hey, look at me, I got a belt, whatever. But, and it was after that they do some more of the Grace and Gigi spot still. It's okay. Then they're going to have Josh Briggs and the big Viking going at it. And Josh Briggs has supposedly got 2 broke ribs, but was cleared anyway. And he does portray that in his match. He gets every chance he gets. He grabs his ribs. He does that. The match itself, pretty good. But, of course, if a 300-and-something pound man squashes you off the second or third rope, you're going to, if you've really got bad ribs, you're going to lose. And that's actually what they did. So, there again, it doesn't make Briggs really look that bad, because of the way he lost and everything. But they got a little Oba Finney watching in the background with a big old grin, so... And, of course, he's got to throw somebody down walking out to look impressive. And poor Mensa, you figure with a name like Mensa, he'd be smart enough to stay out of those situations. But doesn't always work that way. But then they go on a extravagant promo of all about Trick Williams and Melo at Stand and Deliver. And they're going through all that. It's okay. And then, of course, they show the refs setting up this steel cage match that they're going to do. And it's all pins that they're just setting these panels together with. And then they have the match. Now, this show has been good. I've liked everything. I mean, I would recommend it. But this has to be the worst steel cage match I've ever seen in my life. These 2 guys were terrible. They are not the type of people to do a steel cage match. They just were not. Their moves do not go with that. It just didn't look good. Trick looked out of place. Melo was trying. It just wasn't good. I got to be honest when it calls for it. And, towards the end of the match, it gets okay, I guess. It was hard to watch. I mean, it's just the way it was. Trick ends up getting the win. So they're building on that, heading towards with him and Dragunov, because Dragunov's up in the Muffet box at the end. They're mouthing at each other, but that just shows you how good that match was. I just skimmed through the whole thing right there. It is what it is, guys. I don't know what I can tell you on that one. But overall, show good. Liked everything except the end. The guys are working with what they got in front of them and went as far as the writing. So, it is what it is. But we're getting ready for spring breaking. And that's coming up in 2 weeks. So, yeah, that's about all I can say about these guys now. We're kind of doing a little abbreviated deal because it's getting ready to be my daughter's 18th birthday. So I am preparing birthday stuff. So we're going to cut it off a little quicker this week. But guys, we will see you next week. And thank you very much for listening this week. And this is Memphis Mark. Spay and neuter if always. Help a shelter if you can. And this is Memphis Mark. And guys, I'm out.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.